What if I told you that the face of evil doesn't always have wrinkles, scars, or a deep, menacing voice? But sometimes it looks like a child. Cute, innocent, until it isn't. You think childhood is all about cartoons, scraped knees, and schoolyard crushes? Think again. Because some kids, some barely old enough to tie their shoes, have done things that would chill even the most hardened criminal. Welcome to a countdown you won't be able to forget. And before we go any further, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because what's coming will keep you awake tonight. These aren't urban legends. They're not movie plots. These are true stories of America's youngest murderers. Children who didn't just cross the line of right and wrong, they burned it to the ground. Case 6. Joshua Phillips. Jacksonville, Florida, 1998. A typical suburban neighborhood. Sunshine, kids riding bikes, baseballs cracking against aluminum bats. It feels like the safest place in the world. And 14-year-old Joshua Phillips? He fits right in. Tall, skinny, shy smile, baseball glove always in hand. His childhood? From the outside, normal enough. Friends, school, a love for the game. But behind closed doors, life is different. His father runs the house like a drill sergeant, strict rules, a violent temper. Joshua learns to walk on eggshells, to stay quiet, to stay small. And then one afternoon, everything changes. November 3rd. 8-year-old Maddie Clifton is outside, full of energy, giggles, and sunshine. She lives just down the street. She and Joshua are tossing a ball in the yard, nothing but innocent fun. Then, something goes wrong. Joshua swings. The ball hits Maddie square in the eye. She screams. She's in pain, crying. And in that moment, Joshua panics. If my dad hears this, fear takes over. So he drags her into the house, into his bedroom. She's bleeding, whimpering. He picks up the bat again. This time, he uses it to silence her, cracks her skull. She's still breathing. He grabs a knife, stabs her, in the chest, the neck, over and over. Then, quiet. No 911 call, no confession, just a horrific cover-up. Joshua lifts his waterbed mattress and hides Maddie's body beneath it, fixes the sheets, straightens the room, and for an entire week he sleeps on top of her corpse, goes to school, eats dinner with his family, all while she lies decomposing under his bed. Meanwhile, the entire neighborhood is searching. Flyers on every lamppost. Volunteers comb the streets. Joshua even helps pass out the missing posters, expressionless. Then, a smell. A strange wet spot on the floor. His mother investigates. She lifts the mattress and screams. The illusion shatters. Police arrive. Joshua is arrested right at school. He breaks down. Tears. Panic. It was an accident, he says. I didn't know what to do. He blames his fear of his father, of getting in trouble. But the court isn't convinced. At 14 years old, Joshua Phillips is sentenced to life without parole. Years later, in 2017, the sentence is reduced. He may be eligible for release after 40 years, but Maddie's family? They'll never get her back. An empty swing, an empty chair, memories of a little girl whose only mistake was trusting the wrong person. So what was this? A terrified boy caught in a tragic moment? Or something darker? A monster wearing the mask of a normal kid? You're probably frozen right now. That chill running down your spine? Yeah. Hold on to it. This case cuts deep. Now tell me in the comments, was it fear or evil? Can you even tell the difference? Because the next case, there's no panic, no excuses. Just a child who planned and pulled the trigger. We're not done yet, not even close. Case 7, Lionel Tate, Broward County, Florida. Summer 1999. A scorching day in a quiet neighborhood where kids ride bikes, eat popsicles, and stay glued to the TV watching their wrestling heroes. 12-year-old Lionel Tate is one of them. A big kid for his age, tall, heavy, with a larger-than-life obsession with the WWF. Hulk Hogan, The Rock, body slams, elbow drops. This is his world. He mimics every move, flipping cushions, jumping off couches. It's just play. Until it isn't. July 28th. Lionel's mom, a state trooper, is watching 6-year-old Tiffany Eunick for a family friend. Tiffany's tiny, just 45 pounds of pure energy and innocence. Mom heads upstairs to nap. Lionel's left alone with her. What happens next? Shatters everything. Lionel later claims they were just wrestling, like they do on TV. But he's 170 pounds. She's 6, fragile. He slams her, punches, kicks, over and over. He says it was pretend, all fun. But when it's over, Tiffany isn't moving. He screams for his mom. Tiffany isn't breathing. Paramedics arrive, too late. Her injuries? Devastating. A crushed skull, broken ribs, severe internal bleeding, like she'd been hit by a speeding car. Was it an accident? Or something far more violent? Prosecutors didn't hesitate. They pointed to Florida's felony murder rule and charged Lionel with first-degree murder. 2001. He's convicted. Life without parole. At just 14 years old, Lionel becomes the youngest person in U.S. history to receive such a sentence. The world is stunned. A child locked up for life? But the story doesn't end there. In 2004, the ruling is overturned. The argument? He didn't fully understand the consequences. He didn't mean to kill. He's released. But freedom doesn't last. Within a few years, armed robbery, probation violations, Lionel is back behind bars. And that's where he remains today. Here's the part that sticks with you. Lionel insists it was all just a game. A child pretending to be his TV idols. No malice, no plan. But Tiffany? She's gone. 6 years old. Trusting. Left in the care of a boy twice her size, who didn't understand just how deadly his play could be. So what do you think? Was this a tragic accident? Or was something darker already taking root? You're wrestling with that question now, aren't you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Where do we draw the line between innocence and intent? Because next, the rage turns inward. The next kid didn't just lash out. He killed his own brother. Stay close. It only gets heavier from here. Case 8. Cristian Fernandez, Jacksonville, Florida. 2011. Cristian Fernandez is just 12 years old. But his childhood? Already a war zone. This is a kid who never stood a chance. Shuffled through foster homes, raised in chaos, surrounded by neglect, abuse, and trauma from the moment he took his first breath. His mother, barely an adult herself, broken, struggling, hanging by a thread. And Cristian? He carried all that weight, anger simmering just beneath the surface. Not loud, not obvious, but ready to explode. March 14th. Cristian is left alone with his 2-year-old half-brother, David. A toddler, helpless, just learning to walk, to talk, to live. Then something breaks, a moment, a snap. Cristian grabs David, slams him against a bookshelf. Once, twice, the crack of a skull, the silence of a child who won't cry anymore. David's head is fractured, his brain bleeding, he collapses. Cristian doesn't flee, doesn't panic. He just sits there. Hours pass. Then his mother comes home, sees her baby boy motionless, and waits even longer before calling for help. But by then, it's too late. David is gone, and Cristian's hands are stained with something he'll never wash off. The town erupts. News spreads like fire. Outrage builds. A toddler is dead. A 12-year-old is facing a murder charge. And a mother is charged too, for failing to act. The headlines scream. But the real question haunts everyone. Why? Was it rage? Trauma? A child shaped by pain, lashing out in the only way the world ever taught him? Prosecutors saw the bigger picture. No life sentence, no adult prison. Cristian was sent to juvenile detention until age 19. And now, he's free. A young man walking through the world with a history that will follow him forever. But David's gone. That baby, barely old enough to say his brother's name, never had a chance. So who is Cristian Fernandez? A monster in miniature? Or a victim of a system that failed him long before he failed his brother? You're sitting with that now. The weight of both lives. One buried, one burden. And the truth is, both can be real. Real pain. Real consequences. No easy answers. So tell me in the comments, can someone so young be both victim and villain? Because we've got one more case left, and this final one, he didn't kill, but he danced so close to the edge, it's hard to tell the difference. Don't look away now. We're almost at the end. Case 9. Colton Harris Moore, Washington State, mid-2000s. Meet Colton Harris Moore. Tall, lanky, with wild eyes and a mind that won't sit still. He's not like the others on this list. He didn't stab, shoot, or strangle. But what he did? It blurred the line between freedom and destruction. His childhood? A wreck. A broken home, constant fights, rules he couldn't stand. Colton didn't act out. He vanished. He disappeared into the forest, surviving off berries, sleeping under stars. A modern-day outlaw in sneakers, or often barefoot. Most kids steal candy. Colton? He was stealing boats by the age of 15. From 2006 to 2010, the Pacific Northwest became his playground. Over 100 burglaries, homes raided, cash stolen, electronics swiped. He'd leave barefoot prints behind, like a dare to the police. Then, he escalated. Colton started stealing planes. You read that right. Small aircrafts. He taught himself to fly from manuals, online forums, anything he could get his hands on. No formal training, no license. He crashed some, left wreckage scattered across states, stole cars, boats, anything with wheels or wings. Police tried. They couldn't catch him. He became a ghost, vanishing into the trees, always one step ahead, always grinning. Some called him a legend, the Barefoot Bandit, a folk hero who danced on the edge of the law, flipping off the system. Others, they saw danger. He may not have left bodies, but he put lives at risk. Crashing planes isn't a prank. It's a loaded weapon. Finally, in 2010, after years of cat and mouse, they caught him. He served 6.5 years. Released in 2016. No deaths, no graves. But behind him, a path of chaos. Why did he do it? Thrill, escape, a runaway trying to outrun his life. So now the question is yours. Does Colton belong on this list? A wild kid seeking freedom, or a reckless storm leaving danger in his wake? Tell me below, hero or hazard? Closing reflection. 9 kids, 9 stories, and none of them ended where childhood should. We started with brothers who turned their home into a nightmare, chasing fame with bloodied hands. We walked through stabbings, shootings, suffocation, and a body shoved under a bed. Murder sparked by rage, by fear, by a curiosity too dark for any age. Some of these kids planned their crimes with chilling precision. Others snapped in an instant. But one thing unites them. They were children. Children who did things that haunt towns, destroy families, and break the line between innocence and horror. Now you're wondering, should they be locked away for life? Should the Bever brothers ever walk free? Was Cristian Fernandez's early release justice or a mistake? Can kids like these truly change? Or is some evil carved too deep, too soon? Experts say their brains weren't done growing. Some courts are rethinking life sentences. But the families left behind? They aren't debating philosophy, they're just trying to breathe through the pain. So tell me, what shocked you most? Was it Alyssa's diary, scribbled with joy about a murder? TJ Lane's smirk in the courtroom? Lionel Tate's wrestling that crushed a child? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who deserved mercy? Who didn't? And if these stories hit you hard, hit that like button. It helps us keep digging. Subscribe and tap the bell. There's more to come. More twisted tales, more questions with no easy answers. This isn't the end, it's only the beginning. So, what do you think? Are these kids lost forever, or could they still find their way back?